Welcome back to another episode of Jacksonville Buzz's Buzzworthy Business. I'm Steve Strum. Along with me, as always, we have John Visser coming to us from Points North, Canada. How are you this afternoon and morning, sir?
I am well. Thank you for having me on the show, Steve. It's a little bit cooler here up than it is normally down there with you, but nothing new.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that offset. Love to bring in David Esposito from ONL Therapeutics, also in the tundra, coming to us from Ann Arbor, Michigan, to talk about some revolutionary things that they're doing in the world of biotechnology, specifically surrounding eye vision issues. Good morning, sir. How are you today? Or good afternoon, because you are in the same time zone I am.
That's right. Steve, thank you very much. And John as well. Nice to meet you both and talk about the work we're doing in Ann Arbor, Michigan with ONL Therapeutics, focused on protecting patients' vision across a number of disease states, and look forward to the discussion today.
Well, as we were talking a little bit offset, and John will kind of go through, I guess, some Q&A stuff here, but from a guy who's been blind ever since I can recall, eye issues have always been an issue. I'm 48, so I've been wearing some level of corrective something since I was in second grade. And I've had eye surgeries to fix some issues on there. So a lot of things have changed in 40 years, except for the old scalpel. But, as far as what you're doing, you are literally preserving vision where people may not have had hope. And around the corner, I know you got it in your bag that you're going to try to give vision to the blind. Amazing. So tell us a little bit about what ONL is currently doing in this biotech world for eyes.
Sure, Steve. So it is very purposeful work that we're doing. So ONL Therapeutics, our original technology and discovery, came out of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, where our founder, Dr. David Sachs, is a retina specialist, and in his lab discovered the relevance of this receptor on retinal cells in the eye called the FAS receptor, FAS. And so over the last decade, we've been developing therapeutics, or drugs in essence, that block the activation of that receptor in the eye. And why that's important is that in a number of diseases of the eye, things like glaucoma or age-related macular degeneration that your audience may be familiar with, our drug, our lead compound, blocks the activation of that receptor, and in essence protects retinal cells regardless of the disease that they have. And so we've been focused on that journey for about 10 years, and it is right now our goal to protect the vision of those patients. And we've seen that in a number of clinical trials, and we look forward to advancing our therapeutics in a number of trials before getting to market, which takes quite a bit of time in early stage drug discovery.
So, David, you mentioned that you guys are, when we talked before the show, you mentioned that you are in phase 2 of testing. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So I think the classic business model or model for scientific discovery on therapeutics is you first start with animal models. So we use rabbit, mini pig, things like that to assess the validity and the relevance of the drug we're using. And then you transition into human clinical trials. A phase 1 trial is to define just safety, making sure the drug doesn't do any harm in patients. We've passed through those phase 1 studies, and now we're in phase 2, where you really want to prove the drug is both safe and effective. And then you transition, if everything goes well, to phase 3 trials. Ultimately, those phase 3 trials are the package of data that's brought before regulatory bodies like the FDA to gain formal approval. So phase 1 is safety, phase 2 is safety and efficacy, and then phase 3 is ultimately to seek approval to get the product in the marketplace. And so we're halfway in the journey, so to speak, in phase 2 trials right now.
So, David, you're originally from the biotech space, but the biotech space itself is very vast, right? How did you decide to end up specifically focusing on the eyes?
Well, I think what Steve touched on earlier that's very important. Vision, eyesight is a critical function for humanity. We think of a lot of press on the impact of cancer and other large-scale diseases, but people genuinely fear going blind. And so it's important work. There is ongoing discovery, both where we are today to protect vision, even if patients have lost some, to protect further loss. But then there also are attempts at actually revitalizing sight in patients who have lost it. So it's very purposeful work, and the pace of biotech innovation is incredible at this stage, and we're seeing really good opportunities to protect vision of patients suffering from these diseases. And the hope would be also at some point to be able to think about therapeutics that could actually restore vision on patients who have lost it. So it's an exciting field, and there's a lot of interest from venture capital funding sources. So we're an early stage privately held company, venture capital funded, and typically we need interest of these big markets where they're large unmet patient need. To be able to secure investments. So you put all those together, a large unmet need, interest in venture capital to invest into scientific discovery, and there you have it. You form a company and try to make it work.
That Steve, so I don't know about you, but I can talk for hours on this topic. Is there anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I've got one thing that I just, and what we'll do, David, is we'll make sure to put your information on our website at thedailynewsnetwork.com, because, my last thought, right, before we take it away, in our time, there is the potential for us to see the end of blindness, which, I don't know which one's worse, being blind from the beginning or losing your sight, knowing that those are two totally different experiences. But David, it's fascinating to spend time with you today talking about how your company and your team are planning to end blindness, either from those that have no sight as a future objective, or what's in the immediacy of slowing down the loss of vision for however many people are out there that are affected by this, watching this video going, you know what? I don't need to worry about that. But that might be something for us for a next episode. But for now, I am just absolutely excited to learn about you guys. I can't wait to see your company grow and develop. And I hope that, all goes well in your trials and your testing.
Thank you very much, Steve and John. Appreciate sharing the purposeful work we're on here at ONL, and look forward to reporting our progress in the months and years to come. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. John can't do it without you, but we can't do it without all these guys watching. So everybody here, take a look at this company, see what they're doing in the biotech space. If you like us and you love this video, share us. And remember, always live with gratitude.